In my previous video, I have already explained you how to remove your carburetor from your scooter. So in this video, let's see how to overhaul your carburetor and clean all the components inside out. After removing the carburetor from your scooter, the first step is to drain out all the fuel. If you haven't watched the previous video yet, I'll leave the link in the iCard above. You can consider checking out that. Alright, once all the fuel is drained, I'll be moving this fuel into a fresh container. If your fuel looks dirty, do not reuse it. As usual, I'll be using WD-40 for loosening all the stubborn bolts. This particular one has a direct spray nozzle and also a wide spray nozzle. I'll be leaving the link to purchase this in the description below. Spray some WD-40 on all the screws that is mounted on the carburetor. Here I'm spraying it on the electronic choke, and also I'm spraying it on the float cover chamber screws, as you can see. And additionally, I'll spray down the entire carburetor to loosen up any rust or grimes. After entirely spraying it down, let's wait for 10 to 15 minutes so that everything can soak up. Using a brush, I'm agitating all the dirt and grime out of the carburetor. This particular step is very important before you open up the entire carburetor so that anything inside doesn't choke up. Use additional WD-40 if required, and once everything is scrubbed and agitated, use a clean piece of cloth to wipe everything down and make the carburetor a clean one to work with. Once everything is thoroughly cleaned, use appropriate number bit to open up the screws that is there on the carburetor. Here I am starting with the electronic choke, and one thing to note here is this electronic choke screw is being tightened with a Loctite. Here I managed to slip the thread. I did not have any other option to loosen the screw, so I had to manage to cut this in the slot and use a flathead screwdriver to remove the screw out. Now I have to replace the screw, and I'll do it once I get a replacement part. And now for you people, you can be cautious while removing this particular screw, or consider leaving it alone if you are not intending to open it up. Now let's remove the electronic choke out and inspect its O-ring, and also check its actuator for a smooth functioning. If you find any resistance or damage on the actuator, consider replacing it. Next, let's move on to removing the float chamber. It is held by 2 screws, and using appropriate number screwdriver bit, carefully remove the 2 screws, yet holding the float chamber in the place. Once both the screws are removed, carefully wiggle the float chamber and detach it from the carburetor. If you have never opened your carburetor before, the float chamber might be pretty stuck, so you might have to use a little force to detach it. Once the float chamber is removed, you can see some amount of fuel in the float chamber itself. If the fuel looks clean, transfer it to a fresh container. We will be requiring this fuel, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Now, let's move on to removing the O-ring from the carburetor. Carefully remove the O-ring, making sure that you don't damage it, and if you manage to damage it, you have to replace it anyways, else you might have a fuel leak. After removing the O-ring, inspect for any damages or crack. If you find any, always buy a new replacement part. Next, let's take out the float slider pin. Followed by the float itself along with the needle pin. Carefully take out the needle pin, and if you have a different type of carburetor, make sure that you notice its orientation. The tip of this needle pin is made of rubber. Inspect for any damages, and if you find any cracks or any cut, it will lead to fuel overflow, and you have to replace it anyways to fix the issue. Now comes the crucial part, that is removing the jets. Start by removing the main jet, and usually you will have an option to insert a socket, so always use that if you have that option. I'm using a socket along with a ratchet in order to remove the main jet easily. If you don't have that option, feel free to use a flathead screwdriver, but make sure you don't damage the threads. You can see precision drilled tiny holes in the main jet which we need to clean. Let's keep the main jet aside and let's move on to removing the pilot jet. Here I'm using a flathead screwdriver in order to remove the pilot jet. Both the jets are made of brass, so it is very easy to damage it with a steel screwdriver. So remove it with caution. You can also see tiny holes that drilled on the pilot jet too, which we need to clean and unclog it. Now you can stop at this step, or if you want to even dismantle further, you can consider removing the AFR screw and also idling screw, which I don't recommend as you will mess up with the tuning. Now let's clean the entire carburetor housing. Now before getting into the cleaning process, let me tell you can use WD-40 or even old fuel for cleaning purpose. Or even you can use a dedicated throttle body cleaner like this for making the process even easier and dissolve all the carbon deposits on the throttle body. I'll leave the link to purchase throttle body cleaners in the description below. You can consider checking out and make the process easier. Now let's slightly spray down the removed components with this throttle body cleaner and also spray directly onto the jets. If you have placed all the components on a plate like me, you can spray a lump sum amount of throttle body cleaner onto the plate itself so that all the components can soak in and loosen up all the carbon deposits in it. Now let's move on to clean each components one by one. Starting with the float itself, which is easy to clean in this case. Just spray the throttle body cleaner onto the float and the pressure along with the solvent should clean it up. Once it is thoroughly cleaned, place it on a clean piece of cloth or a paper towel. Next, let's move on to cleaning the jets itself. In order to clean the jet, I'm using this old stove pin in order to unclog all the slots on the jets. You can also use some strands of copper wire for doing the same process. As shown, insert the wire on each slot and unclog it as shown. Once all the slots has been addressed, close one end of the jet with your finger and spray down the throttle body cleaner from other end. This pressurized solvent should clean up all the holes and you can see the spray pattern in this case. Repeat the same process for the pilot jet too. Now let's clean the electronic choke, and caution, if you have an O-ring or an oil seal like me here, always remove it before spraying the solvent. The rubber seals can damage by swelling it up, so don't make this mistake like how I did here. Next, let's move on to clean the housing of the carburetor itself. Spray down the entire carburetor and use an old toothbrush to agitate all the carbon deposits and clean it thoroughly. Once everything is cleaned thoroughly, you can see the amount of dirt and carbon deposits that is there in the solvent here. Now finally, let's clean the needle pin itself with the solvent. Spread on the throttle body cleaner on the needle directly and you can let it dry for some time. Now let's take out all the screws and mounting hardwares out of this solvent. You can see all the dirt and grime, including the carbon deposits that has been dissolved in the solvent here. This can be a primary reason for your performance drop and also loss in fuel economy of your motorcycle. Now one final step, let's move on to cleaning the float chamber itself. Before that, let's remove the O-ring out, then let's start the cleaning process. Once everything is cleaned, let's dispose all the old solvent and prepare a clean condition to work with. Start by installing the main jet here, making sure that you always hand tighten it, followed by installing the pilot jet. Since pilot jet doesn't support a socket, I'm using a flathead screwdriver to install it in place. Again, both the jets are made of brass, so do not over tighten it, just a snug fit is more than enough. I'm using a socket here to tighten the main jet. Once both the jet has been installed, let's move on to installing the float and the needle itself. Making sure that you're placing it on the right orientation, install the needle pin on the float itself. Now align the needle pin matching the slot on the carburetor and install the entire unit down. Now insert the float slider pin as shown. Confirm its free movement, and if you feel resistance, cross check the float needle pin again. Now next, let's install the O-ring on the float chamber itself. If you find any dirt or grime, clean it before you install the gasket or the O-ring. Now this O-ring will be pretty dry, so use some WD-40 to gently lubricate it. Now let's fill the float chamber with the fuel that we removed before. The reason why we are doing is, all the scrotors will have a pressure regulator valve where the fuel enters the carburetor or the throttle body only when the intake stroke happens, because of which it will take a lot of time for the bike to crank after carburetor overhaul. If you fill the fuel in this case, the carburetor will have initial fuel supply to start the motorcycle. Now install the float chamber back and tighten the 2 screws that you removed before. Use appropriate number screwdriver bit to tighten both the screws and avoid any thread damage. Now finally, let's spray some WD-40 on the O-rings of the electronic choke and install it on the place and tighten its screws. Once everything is done, your carburetor is ready to get installed back onto your scooter. I have already covered this in the previous video, and if you haven't watched it yet, kindly check it out in the link above. I hope this video was informative enough, and if you people like this video, do consider subscribing to Archeonix and follow me on Instagram for more such amazing content. Once again, thank you so much for watching Archeonix, and I'll see you in the next one.